feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of Unemployable. I have a very special guest with me today, Rachel Shizas. She is one of my newest LinkedIn besties. We connected through a mutual friend, and she has literally been life-changing in my unemployable journey. She just has the best advice, and she's honestly one of the nicest people I've ever spoken to. Only talked like 4 times. So welcome, Rachel. Tell us all about you.
Hello. Thank you so much. So I just have to reiterate that I also love your amazing personality and energy. So thank you so much for including me today on your podcast. I'm super excited. So yeah, I'm Rachel, and I have a journey just like everyone else, and have been through layoffs, being fired, and through my experience and the things that I have done and found that worked, I decided once I got to this position that I have currently, that I really wanted to make sure to put myself in a powerful position and state so that I wouldn't worry about that in the future. I just want to say that everyone has that potential regardless. Even in this position, it could have happened to me just weeks ago. I started posting on LinkedIn, and then just kind of on the side started seeing so many people that needed jobs, and my heart bleeds for anyone in that situation and just really helping people. So I had helped a few people on the side, and then just decided to really start creating a community for people that are looking for work, because I know how difficult it can be, and I understand the ups and downs, and just it's crazy out there right now. So I knew that with just my connections, I couldn't help the amount of people that I wanted to. So I started building a community, and I have a free Friday call because I know there are a ton of different networking communities and different places that people can find information. I also know that when you're in that place of looking for work or finding your next career move, that you want a place to go to just say what you need, and you need it right now. And a lot of that is often support, understanding, validating that it's hard. And there are definite ups and downs, and people are going through a ton. So I can elaborate on anything else you want to talk about,
Yeah,
but
let's talk more about your Friday calls, because I joined a couple, and the people that are on there, everybody is kind of in the same like lifeboat, I guess we could call it, having the same mindset. How do I save myself? And I think that if we can take a step back and realize we're all in this together, which I think that has been forgotten for so long. And your Friday calls really bring this group of people with the same mindset together. So tell us.
I had made a post about the fact that maybe I'm too nice, and I'm fine with that, because we attract and interact with people like us often, or people like us want to be in the same space as us. And I agree with you. I think that anyone that joins is really there to support each other. And so it's such a supportive space. So I just want people to know what I am learning and seeing. People that are looking for jobs are engrossed in looking for positions and applying and trying to figure it all out. So they don't have, or maybe that additional time and energy to be learning about what everybody else is going through. So it's just a great space to come and show up and see that there are hundreds and thousands of people without work. They have been fired multiple times. It is such a blow to the ego to be fired, let go, laid off. And I was a top performer in all of my positions, and still was fired or laid off multiple different times. And no matter how good you performed, it's very difficult to keep that self-confidence and keep moving forward. And then you're like ashamed. You don't want to tell anybody, how do I say? And it's okay to be without a job. It's okay to have been through something. It's how we respond to it and what we are going to do for ourselves and about it moving forward. And I
Right.
want to offer those pieces of advice that worked for me that can help people. And it's also scary. It's just overwhelming. I mainly just want people to understand that there's nothing to be ashamed of, and there are a lot of high quality, intelligent, educated individuals that are without work.
Me.
And
Being one of them.
you are amazing. I adore you. I think you're so amazing. I was too. I mean, and I had people along the way that reminded me of that. And literally lately, over the last 6 to 8 months that I have been more active on LinkedIn, is when I'm seeing it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And to be able to help people with that and to be able to let them know that there's other people to support you, and then also give them the tools that worked for me to help them move forward in the process. Because I love the saying, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And when you're doing something and you're working so hard at it and getting no results, that's infuriating, frustrating, depressing. It's so hard.
Yeah, that's such a good point because you keep applying, and then you keep getting the same rejection emails. And it does feel like you're going a little bit insane because you're doing the same thing and you're getting the same result. That's such an interesting way to look at it. Once I started being vocal about how broken the industry is, and Rachel reached out to me, invited me to the Friday call, and my mindset started changing. And she said something to me that I'll share with you guys. She said, nothing will come to me until I know what it is that I want. And I think that that's a really amazing way to think about things because it really adds this level of self-reflectiveness to what you're doing every day. And I know we all read a million job descriptions. I mean, I know I'll read something and I'll think that I fit it exactly, but maybe on the back end, they just want somebody who's in Pacific time zone and I'm in Eastern time zone, and they're not going to send a generic email back to me telling me that. So I really try to sit back and understand where the rejections could be coming from a multitude of different reasons. It doesn't mean that they didn't like me or my work. And then I sit back and think about what I really want and how do I want to get there. It's been such a journey, but people like you definitely make it so much easier and so much more helpful.
I appreciate that in you so much. And I just want to add to that a little bit in the fact that the reason that I think that was on our first call that you and I had talked. And the reason that I say that is, again, from what I have learned. I think I've shared with you, people can do whatever they want. They can take advice, not to take advice. I've shared with you, I've spent thousands of dollars on programs and still not listened to someone's advice. And guess what? It didn't work. And so that is on me.
Yeah, and I think the underlying message of all of our chats is that don't be afraid to
Yes.
ask for help. Like there's this fear of, oh my gosh, people are going to find out I can't find a job. People are going to find out I asked my parents for money. People are going to find out, I'm going to lose my house. And a lot of people, I see a lot more people opening up on LinkedIn about that. And then I see the people who say LinkedIn isn't for this. Well, what is LinkedIn for? Because it should be for making connections. It's a social platform. We're all in this together, which, I touched on earlier. I don't think a lot of people do not think that way anymore. The selfishness that I've seen, being even thrown at me is wild in this time we're living in. But I think that once you get over that fear and you get outside of your comfort zone and join the Friday call, if anyone is listening and you're feeling really down, you can't find a position you're getting, or even if you're currently working and you're not happy at your current job, join this Friday call because it's all people of the same mindset, all people who want to help each other. And I touched on this a couple weeks ago on LinkedIn where I said, guys, listen, if you work for a company, if you have a job and they're hiring, look on their LinkedIn page and see if they have any jobs, and go to your connections and see if any of your connections are looking for a job and they match that description and give them a referral. things come back. There's karma, and I really believe in that. And I think that what you're building is so powerful because you're taking people with the same type of mindset, the same type of I'm not letting fear control me. I know what I want. I want to be around like-minded people, and you're putting them in a room together. And I think that it's just so powerful. And I just felt that energy even though it was virtual, I felt the energy on the call that everybody was there just to support each other and cheer each other on and be happy for each other. And it just made me feel really good. So if
I'm
anybody
so
wants
glad to
feel
hear
good,
that. And that's exactly what I want to have happen. So I want to say something to what you just said as far as don't be afraid to ask for help. So as far as asking for help, I have learned over the weeks that I've been doing this Friday call that it is something that is really scary for people. Again, people are having these feelings of being ashamed because they don't have a job. Your job does not define you. Whether you have a job or you don't have a job does not define you. You define you. And that's where I want to remind people that you are valuable. You have things to offer. I love the fact that like every single human being, the thought of this is just mind blowing to me. Every single human being, there is only one of you. So whatever I can do to support whatever you need to do to put yourself in a place, like you said, that's not fearful, that is in a powerful state to move forward. I want to create that energy on the call for sure. And what I say to asking for help is this. First of all, we've talked about it a lot, Jillian. Like, there is nothing to be ashamed of about not having work. The next step is to move forward and do what you need to do next. And what that is for each person may be a little different. But what I say to asking for help is this. Again, I like to try to sit with people and get clear on a way to ask for help, right? I say ask for a company that they think is good or a person they can refer you to. So it's simple, right? And if you don't ask for help, it robs someone else of the opportunity to help you.
yeah.
I really think there are a lot of people that want to help others, but sometimes they just don't know what you need. They don't know how they can.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that too, I've had a lot of people, help me. I've had people in very high level positions write an email and BCC me and recommend me for jobs. I've had people send my LinkedIn profile, my portfolio for jobs. And then those people that they're sending the recommendations to, they never get back to me. And, I feel like that takes me out of being what's insane. Like I'm not insane anymore. I'm trying to approach it a different way. And, even then I'm not getting a call back. And we talked about this today and tell everybody what your recruiter said, because I feel like it's a really powerful message and it really resonated
It
with
is. Yeah. And this actually blew my mind as well. She has been recruiting for many, many years, has recruited for top organizations. She has seen it all, right? She has been through 2008. She's been through COVID, helping recruit during those times. And she said that it is worse now than she has ever seen it. So it's not that you're crazy. It's not that you don't have qualities. It's not that it's not difficult, because it can be. It is difficult right now. Now, again, I want to reiterate, if you're doing the same thing over and over and over for months, please reach out so that I can help more. And we can look at what's going on. But oftentimes right now, it's taking a while to get positions.
Yeah. I think it's so hard too,
It
because,
is.
it's your life. It's your livelihood. It's inherently personal right from the beginning. And I think that maybe, that I feel like that's been lost a little bit with the whole automated system and so I think that we have to go into it just not having any attachment to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Let's make it like a drinking game. Take a shot when you get a rejection email. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Celebrate. You're one step closer to a yes.
I don't recommend that, guys. But yeah, it's all about, like you said, like getting in the right mindset because unless you're super lucky or unless you're just referred to a position, people who are applying now are going to get rejection emails. Even if you just get one, it still stings. I've gotten my 20th and it still stings. And it's just getting in that right mindset. You get it, you read it, I trash it. I don't think about it again. It's completely out of my mind. I don't even let it affect me.
Yeah.
And it's like that idea where, which I talk to my kids a lot about too, it's control. Can you control your sister? Can you control your brother? No, you control yourself. That's it. The only person in this world you can control is yourself. So I know inherently that, okay, I'm going to be sad for a minute. Shit, I didn't get this job. Let myself be sad. Give myself 30 seconds, be sad, and then trash that shit and don't think about it again. And I think that it took me a really long time to get to this place. I've been applying since April of this year. So it's like 6 months. And it took me just so long to get in the right mindset to like rebrand myself or whatever we want to call it, to where these outside influences and these people don't affect me. But it's really hard. It is, I just saw one of my really a good friends. She just got promoted. And I'm so happy for her and I'm proud of her. But like that stings too. It's the little things that you see, or if you're like trying to self-sabotage and you like go back to see who they hired instead of you when you interviewed for a position, if you have to do it.
Yeah, I do. I was like, don't do that to yourself.
I know,
I did that too.
I've done it too. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give myself, I try and time myself for like these pity parties. It's like, okay, 30 minutes. I'm going to like pity myself for 30 minutes and then I'm going to get out of it and I'm going to go do something that I like to do. And I know it's so hard, especially when like money is on the line, your finances, you're supporting your family. All of these things it's so heavy. And that's why I like the Friday calls. And that's why I like, talking to people like you who really talk about this type of personality, almost this mindset that you have to like make yourself into, because if you don't, you'll go insane. There's no
And I
way
don't
around
think that
it.
you can, I think it's really difficult to do without support. I
Yeah.
mean, I really do. And I'm not saying it's something easy. I'm not saying it's something that, I didn't, like I said, struggle with. And, like you can be doing all the right things too and still be going through stuff. So that's where I think that there are some different processes. Like people just need the information. And so that's what I want to do. Just give all the information that I can to help find out what's missing in their process and move forward. And as far as just continuing to hear those things, I really feel like it is difficult to get yourself out of that mindset without support. And I just want people to know that it's okay to say where you're at and get that support. Like show to the Friday calls. I commend anybody who comes on the Friday calls because I'm like, the first step is showing up, like showing up and saying like, I'm having a hard time. We have people on those calls that literally found their job in 2 months and want to keep coming to help other people.
Yeah. And I think the whole idea of meeting new people, building connections, because if I hadn't started posting on LinkedIn and being so public about my struggles, I wouldn't have met you. There's so many people that I wouldn't have connected with or reconnected with. Yeah, I think that it's just so important to realize that if you're sitting here and you feel alone and you don't think that you have value because of a generated email that was sent to you for a job you're perfect for, just know that it's not you. You are amazing. And I touched on this on my first podcast with Alex. Like, what's your G? What do you have that nobody else has? Why? And I think that once you start talking to people, they'll tell you why. They'll tell you why you're amazing, why you add value. But if you're sitting here alone, and it can be really isolating too.
Yes.
Because we are only applying online. I haven't had an in-person interview, even for jobs in Miami. It's always a phone call recruiter screen first and then a virtual interview. So I haven't even had an in-person interview in 6 months. And that in itself is isolating too.
It is so difficult. You mentioned your friend getting promoted, and kudos to you for saying, I'm happy for her as well. It's amazing, right? That's a hard thing to do because people say it often, and it is even hard for me. They say, don't compare yourself to others, right? And that is what this process is making you do and think of on a daily basis. I'm not as good as that person. I'm not as good as that person. This person got the job. I'm not moving forward. And you keep feeling like you're not as good as others. It's not true. Do not compare yourself to someone else that may be doing something different. Do not compare yourself to someone working in a different industry. Do not compare yourself to the fact that you thought that you were going to be with a company for 40 years and now you're not. And now maybe you're starting over. There's people that are like, now I'm starting over. I took a large pay cut to get what I wanted, to go back to working from home, to get more freedom, to have an amazing culture. So I'm not saying you can't have it all, but just know that it is difficult. It's very difficult not to compare yourself to others, because I also feel like this process breeds comparing
It makes
yourself.
you right.
And I struggle with that a lot as well. And so I just constantly remind myself, get a mantra, do what you need to do. Come to the Friday calls, say that you need help, reach out, message on LinkedIn, whatever you need to do is in the responsibility of us to take care of us and to know that there are people out there. There is help. There is places that they can reach out. Like, I don't know, listen to this podcast daily if you need to,
Reach out to us. If anybody is feeling alone or like you can't do this anymore, I know Rachel's DMs are always open and so are mine. Please. I've had people reach out to me with, they were in a pretty bad headspace. And when you make someone laugh, when you talk about being on the same team, even if we're in different industries, we are different ages, being on the same team and rooting for somebody has such a strong effect that I think that if you have never experienced it before, or if you've never helped someone before, you don't really understand what a difference you can make in people's lives. And, I talked about this on another podcast, but I had a man reach out to me telling me that he was gonna end things. And he read one of my posts on LinkedIn and it made him laugh. And he was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is so silly. This whole process is so silly. And he told me this and, it affected me as a person that I could help somebody and have such an impact on his life. And 4 weeks later, he ended up getting a job and like, he's still here. He got a job. He's happy. He's working. And, it's so heavy right now. Everywhere we look, everywhere we go, I don't know. Someone once told me that if you're feeling down, just remember like you have an impact everywhere you go. And it's this butterfly effect, ripple effect, whatever. Leave your house. If you're sitting in front of a computer applying for a job and you're sitting there day in and day out and everything is feeling the same, go get a coffee, leave your house. If you guys need $5 for a coffee, I'll give you $5 for a coffee. DM me. I'm serious. I will, because I want to keep helping people and I want people to know that we're all rooting for everyone. And all the people that have gotten the jobs over me, kudos to you, because Unemployable wouldn't be here if I had gotten that job. So
good for you. I'm so proud. Look at really, truly, I really feel like you have grown so much over the past 3 weeks.
Yeah. I've had someone called it a rebrand on LinkedIn and I thought it was so funny. But yeah, I kind of feel that way because I went onto LinkedIn and I deleted all of my descriptions of my jobs. I password protected my portfolio because every single job I apply for, they look at my LinkedIn, they look at my portfolio, and they know who I am. They think they know who I am. I know this girl, I've worked with this girl, but you don't know me. You don't know me. You've never talked to me. We haven't sat like this. Even people watching on the podcast messaged me, oh my gosh, you're so different in real life. Well, yeah, of course I am, because I'm real here. LinkedIn is strategy. I sit and I think about what I'm going to write. It's not just an idea that pops into my head. It's a thought out process. And I just hate that. I hate that people look at you on social media and they think that they know who you are. And I think that you apply for a job, they look at your resume, they think they know who you are. But the idea of just meeting people or coffee talks or whatever we want to call it, it's not really there anymore. Everything is on paper, on the computer. I know who this person is. period. And I don't like that.
That's where I think it comes back to like what we were talking about, and the fact that I see every challenge as an opportunity. And I know it's very difficult to do when you're in the wrong headspace. So that's why I'm sharing, like we've talked about, and anyone who's listening. So come get support, get in the right headspace so that we can help you see this as an opportunity. Use your connections, maximize on people that you know, and don't rob them of the opportunity to help you.
Right. Or even get to know you. Like there
Yeah.
are people I've been through a few interviews in my time.
Me
And
too.
I've met, and you know, two people that I met, I connected with them on LinkedIn, and I want to learn from them. I want to stay connected even though I didn't get the job. It's not that I'm leaving with my tail between my legs like, oh, woe is me, you know, feeling so bad for myself. Maybe a year ago I would have thought that way, but not now. Not now. And there's great talent out there. I'm not saying I'm the best. There are a lot of people who are better than me, obviously, because I can't find a job.
That's not true. It's not true. You are the best. No, absolutely. That's how you go into it. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm the best. I got this. I'm what you need. And it's a
Right.
process to get there.
Right. True. It's about building those connections.
Yes.
And even though I didn't get the job that I wanted, I still built a connection with somebody. And I think that we're losing sight of that. We meet and interview with so many people. I probably interviewed with like 20 people at this point. And even if I don't get the job, I'll still connect with them on LinkedIn because you never know, you know, what a connection can lead to. But I don't know. I just feel like even the people doing the interviews, it's like you're interviewing me and we're making a connection, and I'll write a thank you email, you know, when I interview with somebody, and I've gotten like 2 replies from people. And I just think like that level of humanity it's broken. And we need to get it back. You know, if you're an interviewer, if you're interviewing people and someone sends you a thank you email, just say thanks or, you know, got it. Good luck. Wishing you the best. Like, it doesn't mean that you're saying they're going to get the job. I mean, the 2 people who wrote me back, I didn't get those jobs, but I still remember that they wrote me back, and I didn't
I
even,
actually had the same experience, both of those. And one where I literally had a connection. And so I want people to know that I do understand. And I have been through many of the things that people are experiencing. So it's not just like, oh, look at her. Well, she already has all the answers. No, I have a lot of tips. I have a lot of tricks, and I've also been through things. So I can help in that manner. But I also had a company that was very extremely respectful, and I didn't get the job, and I am still a good connection. I would highly recommend them. I do, you know, and so I think one of the big things that I want to mention to all of that, like you're talking about, is try taking every experience as a learning experience.
Yeah.
What can I learn from what just happened? We got to get a little bit of a tough skin and slough it off. You know, I'm not saying that it's okay for anyone to be rude to anyone.
Right.
Although I am saying that, you know, let's focus on what we can control, like you talked about. And I want to help with tips and tricks. I want to help where people are at in the process, encourage and get people there. And it's also just the reality that we understand what you're going through.
Yeah. I mean, you are amazing. You have like the best little nuggets of any,
You're
honestly.
amazing too.
You guys really seriously try and come to this Friday call because it really makes you feel better, and it makes you feel like you matter, and just hearing it from other people too is really, really powerful.
What you just said is the perfect way to like leave people with this call. You just said what people want to feel. And I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, I just want to know I matter. So here's the thing: a job doesn't make you matter. You already matter. And that's what I want people to know. The Friday calls are for support, tips and tricks, and all of that. And then there's obviously lots of things that people have to do on top of it, right? Like we can't just walk around, I matter, and like jobs just come our way. I mean, that's a start. It's a great start. But you already matter. And I forget that too. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like each person, every person, like you matter.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, sometimes when I'm feeling that way, I'll make a list. It's like, who am I most important to? And like, obviously my kids, my husband, my mom, my sisters, my friends. There's so many people that I'm important to. And it does make you feel better.
You're not stuck. Just because you're in a position where you're looking for work does not make you stuck. There are always ways to move forward, to make a next decision. It doesn't mean that maybe one or other is going to be the easiest, but I want to help people just gain traction and move forward. How wonderful for you that you said, I'm going to
Right.
choose to take a minute and pivot, and I'm going to work on this. And then as you're inspired, as we keep working on the things that can help move you forward, you're in the right headspace to do it. You know?
Right. Agreed. 100%. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. I think that also, you guys, I know that when I first started looking for a job, I was like, I need to talk to a recruiter because they know everything, or I need to talk to a hiring manager because they don't know everything, you guys. And I feel like they can tell you how it works in their company or the way that they're doing it, but that's not going to help you. What's going to help you is to better yourself, to get into the mindset you need to be in. Rachel, she said, it's not your job to remember me. It's my job to be memorable. And that is, for me, that is so powerful. Like, that is just so powerful. It's turning the responsibility back on yourself and taking responsibility for how you feel, owning it, owning who you are, being in the right mindset to keep on getting rejections. It's really, really hard to get to that space. And I think I only got to this space, like you said, like 3 weeks ago. I mean, before that, I was definitely not in a good space.
I think you've grown like so much over the past 3 weeks. I see it in you. And it's like, I truly do feel like it's that mutual support, and support is so important. And if you're not in the right mindset, it's okay to say, I'm not in the right mindset. What do I need to do to get there? You know what I mean? And then sit and ask yourself, like, okay, what do I need to do today so that I can be? Do I need to phone a friend? Do I need to take a minute? Do I need to, listen to this podcast over again? Do I need to go to the Friday call? Do what you need to do and allow people to help with that. Because once you admit or see where you're at, then you can start moving forward.
Right. Agreed. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me on my
Thank you so much. I
third
just am
episode.
so excited to be here. I appreciate you so much also. And I just really want people to know that they matter.
Yeah, you guys matter. All right. So tune in to episode 4, where I don't know who my next guest is going to be. So if you're open to being a guest on Unemployable, my DMs are open.
Awesome.
All right. Talk soon.
Thank you.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like a steak.